Okay, yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please take your seats? Our ceremony will begin in about 5 minutes. Please remember to keep your mask on at all times and maintain your social distancing. Also, please silence your cell phones at this time. Sir.
Okay. Okay, sound good. All right.
No, it's fine. I like your weapon first. Granted, I got a Fuji here. So this is my personal because I'm using my own. I try to do a real, but I got two fixed today, 85 and a 35. my variables there because I need to start. I thought about throwing this variable on the Fuji, but I only got a 50. It's 230. So
truthfully, I only have this and a signal.
well, I get shot for so long with other stuff with the state on my own personal. I finally got the state to buy me. Or to buy the shop with.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that.
Yeah. Well, I have a second YouTube under the white lens.
Yeah.
I just, for this, I didn't want to. Probably could have brought it, but. Okay. We're actually so I'm running the live stream, getting stills and stuff as I can. And then video to will be. It's a considerable. Even though I can run I've got my that one I can do it. It's okay. I like to yeah, I know. This will be that way. It's a little beat up.
But you gotta get the mic. Handheld.
You get the big piece.
Yeah, we run.
Okay, sorry. When you said for Andy, I'm like, no, not for me.
We're already late, so you're gonna order that.
Yeah, I'm going nuts.
Okay, you're live?
I'm live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aloha and welcome to the Daniel Keakaka State Veterans Home Blessing and Groundbreaking Ceremony. My name is Jeff Hickman. I'm with the State of Hawaii Department of Defense Public Affairs Office, and I'm honored to be your MC for today. Thank you for attendance, those here in person and those online. Due to current social distancing restrictions, we have hundreds of others viewing today's ceremony live on the Office of Veteran Services Facebook page throughout the state and beyond. It is a most befitting day to conduct this special ceremony on Memorial Day to honor our fallen veterans and to honor the late Senator Daniel Kahikina Akaka for all that he has done for veterans, for our state, and for our nation. At this time, I'd like to make some brief introductions of the principals for today's ceremony. First, the Honorable David Ige, Governor, State of Hawaii, and our First Lady, Dawn Amano Ige. U.S. Representative Ed Case, representing Hawaii's 1st Congressional District. Mayor Rick Blangiardi, Mayor, City and County of Honolulu. Our State Adjutant General, Major General Kenneth Hara. Mr. Wyatt Matsubara, Vice President, NON Inc. Kahu Cordell Kekoa, who will be conducting a portion of the blessing today. And we are especially honored to have the Akaka family represented by Mildred Millie Akaka, wife of Senator Daniel Akaka. Daughter Milani Matson and her daughter Erin. Son Kahu Danny Akaka Jr., his wife Anna, and their daughter Kalei, who will also be assisting us in the blessing today. And sons Alan Akaka and Nick Akaka and his daughter Nikki. We also have state legislators, county officials, State Department leaders, Department of Veterans Affairs leaders, community leaders from right here in Kapolei, our contractors, consultants on this facility project, and here in the front row, and most fitting, our veterans representing each of the war campaigns from World War II, the Korean War, the war in Vietnam, and current conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq. Mahalo. At this time, I'd like to call upon Major General Hara to provide some opening remarks and introduce the Governor. Major General Hara.
Mahalo, Jeff. Governor Ige, First Lady Dawn Amano Ige, Mayor Blangiardi, state legislators, county officials, our federal VA partners, contractors and consultants, other distinguished guests, and especially our veterans. Good morning and aloha. I'd also like to welcome those who are virtually watching today's ceremony, but most especially the Akaka Ohana. Auntie Millie, Milania, Kahu Danny Jr., Gerard, Alan, Nick, and other family members. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome everyone here to today's ceremony. Also to introduce you to the keynote speaker and to honor our veterans on Memorial Day. It is impossible to adequately pay tribute to the veterans and their families for their sacrifices protecting our beloved country. Some paying the ultimate sacrifice. Our men and women, many of whom continue to serve today, represent just less than half of 1% of our population. We must remember them today and every day. The late Senator Daniel Akaka worked hard to always place our veterans first. He strived to ensure that our veterans and their families receive the benefits and entitlements that they richly deserve. Hawaii is home to approximately 177,000 veterans, the second highest in the United States. Today, as Jeff mentioned, our honorees who served in World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam conflict, and conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan sit in the front row and throughout the tents here. You know, normally we asked the veterans to stand so we could recognize them, but I found out that I've been getting older, kind of hard getting up and down. I'm sure it's pretty the same for our veterans. So we're going to switch it around. I'd like everyone else to please stand and help join me in honoring our veterans. Today we break ground to commence the construction of the Daniel K. Akaka State Veterans Home. The process required to acquire this second home was challenging and sometimes extremely painful. However, the efforts that led us here today was well worth it. I'd like to thank the governor for his tremendous support, our congressional delegation, the State Department of Veterans Affairs, my fellow State Department colleagues, the state legislature. I can tell you, without your support, this event would not happen, this home would not be built. Also, I'd like to thank the City and County of Honolulu, the Villages Kapolei Association, and the Kapolei Neighborhood Board. And most importantly, I'd like to recognize Colonel Retired Ron Hahn from the Office of Veterans Services. His diligence, his efforts was amazing. I tell you, there's so many times that this home was going to fail. Yet through his efforts, coordinating with the state legislature, who had to cough up a lot more money, it is amazing that everyone coming together, and like I mentioned, especially our state legislature, to pay the bill and go beyond what the federal match was for this project. So mahalo, Ron, and mahalo to our legislature. This home will provide 120 beds for long-term care services that include geriatric mental health, dementia, Alzheimer's care, rehabilitation therapies, hospice, respite, and adult care. The home will target both long-term and short-term stay veteran populations, eligible spouses, and Gold Star parents. This home will also create many opportunities. In addition to construction jobs, the home is expected to generate over 150 healthcare jobs and provide intern opportunities with West Oahu College and adjoining schools. In closing, it's such an honor to have the Akaka family here to see this groundbreaking and other events. So thank you, Auntie Millie. Your unwavering support to the senator and your family throughout the years is amazing. And we know that through your support is why the senator was successful. I know that's true for everyone in the military. Without our loved one, without our families, there's no way we'd be able to accomplish what we do. You're truly an inspiration to all of us. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the governor of the state of Hawaii, my boss, a staunch supporter of veterans and military members alike, the Honorable David Ige.
Aloha. Thank you so much for joining us for this groundbreaking ceremony for the Senator Daniel K. Akaka State Veterans Home. I really want to thank everyone for being here. This is such a glorious day for the people of Hawaii, and it's especially important for our veterans who may one day call this facility home. The Senator Daniel K. Akaka Veterans Home, when built, will be the second veterans-only facility in the state of Hawaii. I really want to thank Auntie Millie and the entire Akaka Ohana for being able to join us here today. General Hara talked about some of the challenges of getting this project to this site, but I really do think that the smartest thing we did was decide to name it after Senator Akaka, because I think we all know this is truly an all-of-government response to meeting the needs of our veterans here in the state of Hawaii. I'm proud to be governor of the state of Hawaii because we volunteer. As General Hara had said, we're the second highest represented in the country about people being committed to pay the ultimate sacrifice to protect the liberties and rights that we as Americans cherish. And this Veterans Home is so important to be able to serve. We are here today because of Senator Akaka and because we all were committed to make it happen on his behalf. Really want to thank the mayor for being here and the city council for accelerating all the permitting and all of the approvals necessary to get to this point. And as General Hara had mentioned, the state legislature for recognizing that the state needed to step up and provide more resources in order to make this happen. And of course, our congressional delegation for being able to provide the seed money to keep this dream alive. On this Memorial Day, we join millions of Americans in national observance to honor the nation's fallen for their sacrifices and service. You know, Don and I, our fathers served during World War II in the 100th Battalion, 442nd Regimental Combat Team. So we do know the sacrifices that families make to serve our country. I certainly, at this time, would like to ask all of you to join me in a brief moment of silence so we can offer our thoughts and prayers to those who have served our country and who have given their last full measure of duty for our nation. Thank you so much. I find it so appropriate today that we are honoring the legacy of one of Hawaii's most beloved and revered native sons, the late Senator Daniel Keakaka, a World War II veteran. I'm so proud that I am able to call Danny my friend. As a member and later chair of the U.S. Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, he advocated and advanced and supported many initiatives to expand federal support for educational and other benefits for our veterans. These initiatives include modernizing the GI Bill to include veterans of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and so many other measures to ensure that those who volunteer and serve our country will be able to benefit from benefits that they so richly deserve. I'm truly honored to be here today to break ground on this important facility. And most importantly, I'm really humbled to have known Senator as a friend, and I'm so proud that we are able to build this facility in his name. Thank you all so much for being here. Aloha.
Mahalo, Governor Ige and Major General Hara, for your comments today. At this time, I would like to call up Milani Matson, daughter of the late Senator Akaka, to provide remarks on behalf of the Akaka Ohana.
Thank you so much. Aloha, Governor Ige, First Lady Dawn Amano Ige, Mayor Blangiati, Wyeth Matsubara, Major General Kenneth Hara, Kaku Cordell Kekoa, members of the state legislature and Honolulu City Council, representatives from the various state departments, the Villages of Kapolei Association and Kapolei Neighborhood Board, contractors and consultants for this project, our veterans, and our live stream audience. My family and I are truly honored to be here today to share in the groundbreaking ceremony for the second Hawaii State Veterans Home in Kapolei, the Daniel Keakaka State Veterans Home. We're truly grateful for all that you've done. My dad always said that the nation owes no greater debt than to the men and women who served in uniform, because they sacrificed to protect our freedoms and our democracy. His service in Congress was his platform to help build an adequate support system for our veterans. Why was this so important to him? The atrocities of war leaves wounds and scars, some invisible that don't heal, but need to be tended to, and tended to sometimes for a lifetime. Dad saw the start of the war in the Pacific with the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. He was a senior at Kamehameha Schools and saw the smoke at Pearl Harbor from a storm room high up on the ridge. Soon a squadron of planes flew over them, and each plane had a red ball, a sun symbol, on their wings. Later that day, his ROTC commander received orders to place an armed rifle unit in the Ko'olau Mountains at the top end of the school to scout for paratroopers and to guard the island's water system. He was one of 29 seniors assigned to that unit, and luckily nothing happened, but the war had begun. Soon one of the cruelest chapters in American history occurred when people of Japanese ancestry were rounded up and placed in internment camps. People were interned under false accusations. This was perceived as a harsh injustice for a boy who grew up in the quiet of Po'oa Valley, a diverse valley of many ethnicities. One of the Japanese families in the valley regularly housed and fed him. All the kids roamed freely in the valley and went from house to house. That was nothing. A second Japanese air attack targeted Oahu in March 1942. Luckily, that attempt was detected by radar. Bombs were dropped off the harbor entrance with no damage, and in Makiki Heights above Roosevelt High School, leaving holes in the ground. This was another incident that rattled a young life, and especially since it was so close to Po'oa Valley. A brief ray of hope for the war's end was Air Force Commander Jimmy Doolittle's raid, his surprise raid on Tokyo at midday on April 18, 1942. Not much damage, but a lot of hope. Dad was drafted in 1944 and assigned to the Corps of Engineers, probably due to the fact that he had welding and diesel experience. He was on tugboat missions between Guam, Saipan, and a small island in the northern Marianas called Tinian. Although Tinian was captured in 1944, there was an island offshore still in the hands of the Japanese, with Japanese soldiers, civilians, and families who believed the Americans would slaughter them. So some families, hand in hand with their children, would jump off a cliff to their death. B-29 bombers would leave Tinian at 5 a.m. for bombing raids on Japan and return without stopping, some with holes in their wings, and some didn't return at all. Then there was a B-29 called the Enola Gay, with a payload that was kept underground. Dad later learned that the bomb was called Little Boy, and its destination was Hiroshima. He didn't see the Enola Gay take off, but word got around once it did take off, and that was August 6, 1945, such a short period of time. So he saw the beginning of the Pacific War on December 7, 1941, and he saw the end of it with the Enola Gay in 1945. Dad said he came back with the disease, or what he called his dis-ease. It was a restlessness. He couldn't sit still. He traveled. He roamed the different Hawaiian islands. He sat on the top of a volcano dangling his legs, went swimming, hiked. His disease was later called battle fatigue, or post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. All of these experiences changed him and stayed with him and eventually motivated his actions for veterans while he served in Congress. He had a special love for veterans because he was one of them, and he knew each one carried their own version of the war and how it affected them. Dad worked at securing funding for veterans hospitals and clinics, including one named for Sparky Matsunaga at Tripler. Another bill voted into law was the Veterans Compensation Rates Amendments of 1993, and he was proudly one of 11 co-sponsors for that bill, which increased the rates of veterans' disability, compensation, and additional compensation for dependents, surviving spouses and children, and also disabled adult children. As a chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee, Dad secured significant increases in healthcare funding for service members returning from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was instrumental in making sure the invisible wounds of war, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and traumatic brain injury, or TBI, were expeditiously handled by the Department of Veterans Affairs by conducting a full review of mental health services offered to veterans. That was SB Senate Bill 2162, the Veterans Mental Health and Other Care Improvements Act of 2008, passed into law on June 9, 2009. That law would expand research in healthcare facilities for the invisible wounds of war, substance abuse problems, and chronic pain. That legislation extended mental health resources to the veterans' families and provided assistance for low-income veterans and those who live in rural areas. Dad believed that you healed faster when you were with your family. And that's what was why he always looked for ways to get families together, because there weren't clinics, veteran clinics or hospitals in every town. He wanted to get the injured with their families, to heal faster, and basically to love one another. He played a key role in getting the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Pentagon to share information and work together to take care of U.S. troops as they transition to civilian life. Dad and U.S. Senator Jim Webb passed a new GI Bill which provided expanded education benefits for veterans. Dad had a special love for veterans and could never do enough for the men and women who served in uniform. He was one of them. He knew the sacrifices, he witnessed the atrocities, and he understood the needs. Our family is humbled and grateful that Dad will be remembered by this pu'uhonua, this place of refuge, providing for the health and well-being of our veterans. A 120-bed facility with provisions for other medical and health care services. We are so proud and honored to have this veterans home named the Daniel K. Akaka State Veterans Home. What is also important to us is that this project is a continuation of the work Dad wanted to do for the veterans. And so we are even more grateful to you. Mahalo nui loa to Governor Ige, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, our congressional delegation, the Hawaii State Legislature, the State Department of Defense, the Office of Veterans Services, the Department of Accounting and General Services. We're thankful, grateful to everybody who had a hand in getting this project started, going, and completed. We're also thankful for the support, of the state legislatures, council members, the villages of Kapolei Association, and the Kapolei Neighborhood Board. Again, mahalo nui loa from our family to each and every one of you, and thank you so much for celebrating with us today. Thank you.
Mahalo Milani. At this time, I'd like to call up Vice President Wyeth Matsubara of Non Inc., our principal construction contractor for this project, will now make his remarks.
Morning. I would like to preference my comments here, typical of a civilian. They give me an ask saying, come here today, greet the important people, say something about the project. Wow. Major General over here has this full booklet with all this intel that I was not apprised of. So that's the context of my speech today. Congressman Case, Governor Ige, First Lady, Mayor Blanchiardi, our veterans, Akaka family. My name is Wyeth Matsubara. I'm representing Non Inc. Construction Company today. My privilege and honor to be here. First off, on this Memorial Day, I wanted to take a moment to honor the the U.S. servicemen who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. This is a day of respect and reflection for all armed forces. Our veterans looked out for us, and now it's time we look out for them. Many of our veterans will need the care that this first-rate facility will provide here at the Daniel K. Akaka Veterans Home. We at NOT Inc. are humbled and honored to have been selected to construct this 135,000 square foot, 120-bed home for our veterans. With over 177,000 veterans in our island, I had 117,000 seats, but they got the better numbers. 177,000 veterans in our state, with over 2/3 here in Oahu, is actually critical for this facility to be built out today. We'll make it our mission to construct a quality facility for veterans. Thank you for entrusting us to build this incredible facility, and a sincere mahalo to the veterans who will soon call this place home. And thank you to the Akaka family. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Before I turn it over to our two kahus for the blessings, I'd like to provide some acknowledgments. If you could turn your programs over, you see a number of organizations represented who helped set this ceremony up, from the State DoD and the Office of Veteran Services to our contractors and consultants. We're all part of the planning committee. How about a big hand for them getting this pulled off in about 30 days? All right, today's ceremony is going to end with the blessing and the groundbreaking. So at this time, I'd like to turn over a portion of the program to Kahu Kekoa and Kahu Akaka, his wife Ana, and daughter Kale for our blessings. Sir?
Aloha Vakiakako, aloha. You know, as you've heard the words being shared today, it's a beautiful thing that we join together ohana, and you've heard the word from Itimili over and over about ohana and family. And we also hear about veterans. And so part of this blessing today is to bring this land to life. It's been sitting here, kind of known as the fairgrounds of Kapolei. A fun place, an enjoyable place for our families that live out on this side of the island. But you know, historically, where you guys are sitting, I want you to look behind us. Do you see that little pu'u? There's an archery place today and a skateboard park, I think. But originally, how Kapolei got its name was because of that pu'u. Because where the aquarium sits in Waikiki, some navigators and people who would know when to plant, when to harvest, they would look from Waikiki out this direction, and usually about May 1st, they knew the season was changing because there would be a lei over that pu'u, which gives us this place, Kapolei, the lei of Kapo. Because as the sun would begin to set, they could see a beautiful lei. And so where you sit from, you see historically, this is a very important place. And our veterans will have the privilege of being in that same place that has changed lives all throughout Hawaii. And that's really what we want to do today in our blessing. I'm very privileged to be connected to the Akaka Ohana. From Senator Daniel's brother, Kahu Abraham Akaka. I got my beginning as a Kahu from Kahu Akaka and his Ohana to help me go through my training to do what I do today. And then to be connected to your Ohana, including Gerard, doing the things that he does at the hospital. And so today, what we'd like to do in blending this blessing together, I'd like to highlight the first two things before I bring Kahu Akaka. I'm going to ask, what we're going to start off is just doing a blessing over the Akaka Ohana. Again, are you guys okay? I'm calling an audible up here. Is that right? All right. There's nothing like this in the program, so we're just going to go for it. You give me the microphone, I get to speak. That's how your husband would do, yeah? And so today, I'm going to ask if you carry the name Akaka, or if you are related to or married to an Akaka. I'm going to ask if you would stand for just a moment. Timili, you can stay seated. You're good to stay there. But the rest of you, I'm going to ask if you would stand up. And what you guys, we're going to use some good fresh Hawaiian rainwater in just a moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Adjutant General with me, and we're just going to put a little bit of good fresh Hawaiian rainwater on your hands, as you are the family that supported your husband, your dad, your father-in-law, your grandpa, and now baby's great-grandfather. In all his service, it's like the veterans place that will be here. It's not just our veterans, it's their families too that we support. And so, carrying Dad's name, I'd like to just use some of my good fresh Hawaiian rainwater, and I'm just going to place it upon all of your hands. And I just want you to think of the best memory. This is probably one of many more that will receive his name. But today we're together. And so Ken and I are going to come. We're just going to put a little bit of water on your hand. I'd just love for you to rub your hands together and think of the excellence that Dad represented, that your husband represented, as we do this blessing. We'll start off with this today. And then I'm going to ask you guys to help me with the next portion. Okay? Thank you for your patience as we do that. You know, the other part of this blessing today was our veterans. So we're connecting all those together. So I'm going to ask again for the next part of the audible. If you have ever been into the military, I'm going to ask if you'll come on this side and stand in the front row next to our veterans that we are representing today. So if you've ever been in the military or are currently in the military, I'm going to ask you to come forward and just stand right in the shadow of that tent. And if you could do that at this time, please. Just come into the front row. Stand up, like kind of a line. Right up with the veterans. There you go. Just like that. So veterans, we appreciate And a hand clap is not enough to thank you for what you have done in service to our nation. And even creating a village like we're about ready to. It's not enough to thank all of your comrades, all of your friends, those who are still with us or those who lost their lives. But today I'm going to ask the Akaka family, they're going to come with me. I'm going to give them a little bit of water. And they're going to put the water on your hands. And all we're doing is we're connecting our veterans with the Akaka Ohana. So your family who have served with you and the Akaka family who've served with their dad, their husband, their family. So I'll give each one of them some water. As they walk past you, they'll just put some of the water on your hand. As you receive that water, I think Millie shared it well. Today's a day of gratefulness, of thanksgiving, of mahalo. And so your family, that spirit of thanksgiving, along with our veterans. So thank you. Mahalo kia kua me kia aloha po mehana e malama ho'o mai ka ko he maluma. Mahalo kia kua. Okay, now we'll go back to the playbook. Again, the people of Hawaii, we live with our heart. It's not just rules and what you have to do, but if your heart moves you, that's why Hawaii is such a beautiful place. Because we love one another no matter what. We take care of one another. And that's just what that was right there. We're just taking care of each other. And so what we're about ready to do now, as we as Kanakapo'e, as the people, are good. We want to make sure that this land is good. Some of this dirt that we're standing upon is not from here originally. It might have been brought from other places. And so we want to make sure wherever it came from, the buildings that are placed here, it's all good. And so that's a part of the blessing today. Yes, we'd like to shorten the time period and be under budget. But we want it to be pono. As Commandment III said, "Umau ke eo kaina I ka pono," the life of the land is perpetuated in doing the right thing. And that's what really we want to do today. We want to honor all those who have come before us. We want to honor the sacrifice. Today, the Akaka family and I both have some tea leaves. Today, I'm going to use one red tea leaf because for me, anytime I do something for the military, I use that red tea leaf for me to signify sacrifice and service. And the green tea leaf I like to use, that la'i is for growth. And so we're just growing this land and all that aloha. And so I'm going to use some good fresh rainwater. We both will. We'll use some Hawaiian salt to preserve the goodness. Yes, we'll use our la'i. And we're going to use this beautiful mailile that's draped across the ground there. So we are actually going to make our way over there to begin the blessing. And I will invite those of you who are going to help us. And then those of you who are here, if you want to, you're welcome to come and stand up and come and watch so you can get closer with us. All right?
Please, so those under the tent, if you can turn your chairs. Those in the back standing, I need you to move out of the tent area. We have the Facebook Live going. We want to make sure that everybody online gets to see what's going on. People under the Akaka tent, if you want to move over, you can, if you want to get closer. We just got to stay out of the sight of this camera here. If I can get the shovelers to head up, Governor Ige, Major General Hara, Congressman Ed Case, Mayor Blangiardi, Dr. Alan Akaka, just promoted you there. Comptroller Kurt Otaguro, HHFDC. Director Denise Isari Matsubara. Craig Oswald, Chief Facility Planner for the VA Pacific Healthcare System. Wyeth Matsubara of Non-Inc. And Matt Gilbertson of MGA. If everyone else under the tent can move to the side. Not working. Gotta turn it on.
We would just like to invite the Akaka Ohana to come up to help with the Okipiko, the untying of the lei. Okipiko refers to cutting the cord, cutting the piko, thus giving life in spirit to this land, to this aina. So the governor has invited our entire family to come to help with that honor, the untying of the lei, the Okipiko. So hopefully my mom will be able to come and join us if she's up to it.
It's only one channel. Yeah, it's only the left channel.
I would also like to add that it is a very great honor for our family to be here. You know, we always we miss our dad greatly, and but we always feel him around. We always feel his spirit wherever we are, even here. And we know that he's smiling from heaven and just enjoying this moment. And of course, he's kind of watching my mom as she's slowly making her way here and saying, "Please don't fall."
It's hard to see. It's good. I'm just trying to get the right exposure.
We will begin the ceremony with traditional Hawaiian chants, and following that, we'll have Tuan. E ho mai ka ha, e ho mai ka mana lilo ke i wai la ai. No ho ana ke ui kena hele ki helai ki e ki ho e ko o na ki no malu I kalani malu e ho e o mai no ui kena mauka o ma ko no o no ai ke na ma ko mai kalai ki asana tau mai ko ku ya ka mai te kina ka ke na ma ko ma ko ki au ke na ku na ko ko pala ko ki au o mai he ke o mai ro atu ya ku no ni ki au ni e na ki o ko le ko ma na ko ko Ke kua no piko. Ke kua muki, ke kua hawa na mana piko, ke kua ala mo ke umo. Hey, ke kua muki. Hey. Ko, okay. O kapule. Ke o oki nei. A haku. Ke a ika piko.
Amen. No kia au. Amen. Oh wait, we got one more pop-up. The youngest one.
E Apa itu bakit meklan ya gua ki gua ni pala na uba una mina gua ku pala ni ko no ka mau na ki kai mena me e pekliu eu ko kilo tani mai o mai ka iki aina ka na ha ma palu na mala kuni hika ua ka makani ka hikili ki ahi me ke olai e ho lako e ho lau pai ia ho kukulu ana make i mau aina o dan e akaka
E komo kokona i kuka me ka mililani a i loko ho i au kona kapa. Atu e tani te ai. A o mai kai. Wa a mai kai oto. Ua poloa kana loko mai kai. Kona ot i han a pau. That those who will come after us, for the generations that are here and to come. Mahalo. You guys?
Pencils in the back provided by non-ink. Grab it on your way out. No eating over here. Thank you very much for coming. Mahalo.
The Millie's up here in the front corner if you want to do something.